Trastisa and Jesusa Francisco of the DOJ. She listened, she heard her name mentioned yesterday, so she was crying. She wanted to clear her name.
Mr. Chairman, there is a pending motion of the Honorable Roque. I second the motion with the inclusion.
Before that, let me clarify.
Yeah.
Are these additional witnesses also seeking immunity, Mr. Secretary?
Si Kwan. Nandiyan na? Ready na ba? Ready na? Yes, Mr. Chair, we'll be ready with the papers on immunity.
So there is a motion duly seconded. Any objection to the request for immunity, because this body is just recommendatory to the Speaker, who will ultimately approve the grant of immunity to these four other new witnesses. Yung two tapos na yung kahapon, di ba? So there are just four left. So additional four, because Martinez and Pacho were already granted immunity yesterday. So the request is now limited to four.
Actually, Mr. Chair, of the four that has not yet been given immunity, only Jojo Baligat is here. The other two inmates are on the way being fetched from the NBP, while the one from the DOJ is also here, but in transit also.
Anyway, if they will ultimately request for immunity, then nonetheless we can proceed with the matter and resolve this motion so that we can act accordingly and obtain the approval of the Speaker.
Mr. Chair, in my seconding the motion of the Honorable Roque, it has a further clarification, which is to include, if there were still names mentioned by the good Secretary of the Department of Justice, which were not mentioned by the Honorable Roque, because you were mentioning only about 3, 4, and all those mentions by the Honorable Secretary were included in your motion. So in that connection, Mr. Chair, we are now asking for the rolling of the chair in relation to that motion.
Any objection? There being none, the motion is approved. Who will do the paperwork on this? So similar to what has been approved by the Speaker yesterday, can the good Secretary or his staff coordinate with the Committee Secretariat for the necessary paperwork required to obtain this? Meanwhile, we will only limit ourselves to Martinez and Pacho as we await for the immunity, unless these witnesses would want to go through his or her testimony even without that immunity.
We'd rather wait, Mr. Chair, for the immunity to be finished. In the meantime, if we could proceed with the witness or resource person Martinez and Pacho.
For a while. So we will get there. Let me just make my opening remarks for today's hearing. I was interviewed this morning, and people were asking or there was insinuation. Sabi nila, unprecedented daw po itong ginawa dito sa House of Representatives, no? Na tayo ay nag-conduct ng hearing at yung Secretary ng Justice ang nag-direct exam, ano? At dapat daw ang nagtatanong ay yung mga congressman at hindi daw dapat si Secretary of Justice.
Ngayon, sabi ko naman na this is not unprecedented. Dahil kung naaalala nyo, nung kinonduct yung Napoles scam, inquiry in Senate. Perhaps dito sa House of Representatives, this may be unprecedented, but in a congressional inquiry, this is not. Kasi nung panahon na iniimbestigahan si Napoles, doon sa Napoles scam, sa Senado, you will recall that the person handling the direct exam of Benhar Luy, who is a witness, was no less than the former Secretary of Justice Laila de Lima, now Senator. So there is nothing new here. And I think this is how congressional inquiries should be conducted para po mas malinaw. Now, bakit po si Secretary Vit Aguirre ang nag-direct? Unang-una, hindi naman po pinagbabawal ng rules natin yan. Because Secretary Vit Aguirre is not the lawyer of the witnesses. He is the Secretary of Justice who conducted this investigation. Siya po ang bumuo nito segun sa kanyang mando bilang Secretary at nangangasiwa ng Bureau of Correction. Dapat lang po na malaman niya. At ang ginawa niya po kahapon ay nilatag niya kung ano ang nangyayari, what is the actual happening in the Bilibid prison, at ano po ang mga ginawa nila. Yung po ang presenta nila kahapon. At masasabi ko, this is part of his narration of facts and or the result of the conduct of his investigation. So, ganun po yon. Ngayon, bilang chairman, ako naman po, ang duty ko po is to manage these proceedings in an orderly fashion. And you are witness yesterday, siguro naman makikita nyo na our inquiry, our hearing was well managed and very orderly po yung proceeding natin. At ang pangalawa po, ang aking pong role is to make sure that yung mga facts that we seek to establish are defined, na-establish, malinaw po sa aming unang-una, malinaw po sa aming mga miyembro, at siyempre dahil nandiyan po ang media, malinaw po sa taong bayan. And I think we have also achieved that. So that as chair of this Committee on Energy, I have performed
60.
alam mo, hindi pa mawala sa akin yung energy. As chairman, I think nagampanan ko naman po yung trabaho ko, and kayo na po ang huhusga kung ang ating pong proceeding ay orderly at ang ating pong mensahe at yung mga facts na pilit po nating inaalam para po mailay yung predicate, para po yung mga miyembro namin ay makapagtanong ng naayon doon sa gusto nating establish illicit facts which are germane to the purpose and objective of House Resolution 105 ay magampanan po natin. Dahil alam niyo naman po dito sa Kongreso, kami po ay may kanya-kanya po kaming storya na gustong buuin in any congressional inquiry. Kanya po, napakahirap po i-manage kung hahayaan po natin yan. Kaya hinayaan po natin na ilatag po yan ng Secretary of Justice as head of the Justice Department, at saka po yung nangangasiwa po ng Bureau of Correction and National Bilibid Prison. So, having said that, I hope this will be clear to all of our members, and I hope that we can continue to conduct this hearing in a similarly orderly fashion And I hereby enjoin everyone to again observe silence and orderliness in the conduct, in the continuation of today's inquiry.
Mr. Chairman,
Sandali Sino po ba yan? Ayan.
Mr.
Deputy
Chairman.
Speaker and then Congressman Roque.
Mr. Chairman, my statement would be an amplification of the statement of the chairman. I believe, Mr. Chairman, that the chairman of the House Committee on Justice, in the performance of his function as chairman, is given enough latitude and discretion which is needed in order that the committee may achieve its goal. Commenting on the presentation made by Secretary Aguirre of the Department of Justice. In the first place, it is not proscribed by our rules in the committee. And second, Mr. Chairman, if we did not allow the Secretary of Justice to make the presentation by asking the witnesses that he presented, and instead he will be making a presentation if he is treated a resource speaker as and on the basis of his own. We cannot expect the good secretary to be testifying on factual matters because he does not stay or he is not an inmate. Therefore, he will be laboring under a testimony that is based on speculation and third-person information. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, this representation believes that in addition to the fact that it is not proscribed by our rules, the presentation of Secretary Aguirre yesterday was itself a presentation of a resource person, and instead of testifying on the basis of his own knowledge, he adopted the testimony of the witnesses as part of his presentation, so that whatever was testified to yesterday was factual in nature. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, that is all.
Maraming salamat, Deputy Speaker. Puro mga bidista po itong nag-uusap na to. Si Deputy Speaker Castro is from San Beda. Of course, ang ating pong Secretary of Justice is also from San Beda. May sabi nga sa akin ni Majority Floor Leader, this is a Bedan show. Kanya lang, unfortunately, one of the casualties, maybe, hindi ko pa naman sinasabi, maybe also a Bedan. So anyway, we will recognize now, Hari.
Yes,
Congressman,
Mr. Chair, I
Roque.
have two manifestations. The first really is in support already of what you have mentioned. But I'd like to call the attention of this committee that in the Philippine Daily Inquirer, some of our colleagues, just because Secretary Aguirre was allowed to conduct the examination, referred to our investigation as political persecution. For the record, Mr. Chair, I would like to register the fact that I resent such a comment coming from our colleagues, especially since the person who described this as a political persecution did not even bother to show up in this committee. If he has criticisms against this committee, he should ventilate his criticisms before this committee and not before the media. That's the manly thing to do. So if you have criticisms, especially the Independent Liberal Party claiming to be the minority, they should ventilate in the committee and not in a press conference, because in articulating such messages, they're putting members of this committee in very bad light, and I resent that. My second manifestation, Your Honor, has to do with a request made by Justice Karen Miranda of the Sandigan Bayan, who in the film clip yesterday was then Assistant Solicitor General. He was shown in the film clip together with legal interns visiting Muntinlupa, and it was as if the reporter concluded that Carl Miranda and the legal internship program of the Solicitor General were endorsing JB Sebastian. So he texted me with the request to make of record that they did not know on that occasion that they were going to listen to the performance of JB Sebastian. They were in Muntinlupa as part of the legal internship program of the OSG, and they wanted the legal interns to appreciate the condition in Muntinlupa because they wanted to underscore the fact that there is a need to promote humane treatment even in the National Penitentiary. And in fact, I share the concern of Justice Miranda because in the same film clip, two of my junior associates in my law offices who were then students were part of the film clip. No? So for the record, there was no endorsement whatsoever coming from Justice Miranda or the Office of Solicitor General for any of the activities being perpetrated by JB Sebastian, which of course is not true in the case of former Justice Secretary Laila de Lima. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The committee takes note of the manifestations of the Honorable Roque. With respect to the second manifestation, Secretary Aguirre, I think this was in the film clip, and you may wish to conduct an inquiry separate from here because this is something that you have shown us, and there may be need for some clarification on that, most specifically with respect to that portion involving Justice Miranda to disabuse the minds of, well, first and foremost, the Secretary and the Department of his involvement therein. If your investigation will result that or will confirm what Congressman Roque has said, no? So, and likewise for the consumption of the public, and we would request you to please come back to us and please make the necessary correction of information only with respect to that point raised by Congressman Roque. On the first manifestation, again, the committee takes note of that, and please include please remind me that we will probably have to take this up with the majority floor leader or even the speaker in private so that we can resolve issues within the confines of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman.
Before you, Vice Chair Waminat.
Okay then. Mr. Chair, thank you very much. In addition to your explanation, as the Vice Chair in charge with this with the subcommittee on correctional affairs, yesterday in my opening statement, we are conducting this investigation in order to ferret out the truth in relation to the resolution number 105, which calls for an investigation in the proliferation of illegal drugs in the National Bilibid Prison. We had invited the source speakers, and we invited the Secretary of Justice, Secretary Aguirre, and the other members of his official family because his office has investigated these inmates and public officers. Thus, the committee allowed him to present his investigation and the witnesses in relation to the subject matter of this inquiry. The Secretary of Justice is not the counsel of these witnesses, but a resource person of the committee. And as we had noticed yesterday, all the members were allowed to interpellate after the presentation of the witnesses, and they were allowed to examine the witnesses and even test the respective credibility. I hope this will add and enlighten those who tend to question the proceedings of this committee. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Muna. Mr. Chair, point of clarification.
Before that, Congressman, Deputy Speaker Castro, and then unless you are...
Mr. Chairman, I yield in the meantime in favor of the gentleman.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. That is the reason why I sat beside you. That is precisely the reason. Mr. Chair, salamat po. Just some clarifications as your good colleague on your left-hand side saying that this is a matter of ferreting out the truth. And by doing so, I would like to clarify first of all, because the invitations, as I can now sense, was only given to the Department of Justice, personified by the Secretary of Justice, and the high-value inmates. I'd like to know, for everybody's knowledge, if there was a formal invitation also extended to the subject matter of this investigation, the Senator Laila de Lima in particular.
Yes, I think you were the one who read into the records the invitation made.
In yesterday's hearing, Deputy Speaker Rani Abo had read the invitation letter extended to the good senator, which was duly received by her staff in the office.
But considering her earlier pronouncements, Mr. Chair, that this committee hearing is a sham, and this is more or less a discredited congressional hearing based on her perception, did we also, in that invitation, did we at least indicate to her that if she did not want or she doesn't want to come over to testify or probably inform the committee oversight, did we also indicate that she can probably send a representative or a counsel who might be able to speak in her behalf? Because if we are really trying to ferret out the truth, it is not supposed to be a one-sided hearing. Because if all the testimonies are only coming out from one side, I'm afraid that we are not really trying to ferret out the truth. So it is important that we give her also the latitude to probably send a battery of lawyers, probably. Not a battalion, only a handful of battery of lawyers who can probably represent her and be in a position to also cross-examine the witnesses which the Justice Department will be able to put out against her.
According to the COMSEC, she was her representative or lawyer.
There are lawyers coming from the office of Senator De Lima. Is that correct?
I do not know, but anyway, even in my interviews, I told her that we will give her all the opportunity to come here, or even with her representative or lawyer. But there is no one. Is there any one who represents Senator Laila in this committee hearing? So no answer, so that means that she didn't want to participate. Anyway, we have already covered this, and as I said in my interviews, this is her lookout. We cannot be faulted if she does not participate or she does not send a representative or lawyer. We will proceed, and we do not want to spend more time here, so that if we can just continue. Congressman Castro, do you still have any additional assistant niya? Wala.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Whatever the opposition or the minority would come out in the press.
Maganda yung wireless.
Pasensya na kayo, may technical problems on our mic. May explain. Sagutin na natin. Ito sa. Hindi ko naman.
O ito, pwede.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to comment on the press release of the opposition or the minority. I think as members of the House or independent minority, I think, Mr. Chairman, we should not take it against them. In fact, we should respect whatever, because that's part of their job to be in the independent minority. And second, we are all brothers. We are all colleagues in the House. And whatever they say in the press is part of the freedom of press that we should respect. Therefore, let them do their job and let us do our job too. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Congressman Carbin, you're recognized. Something is wrong,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last week, Mr. Chairman, I heard over the radio the interview of Secretary Vitaliano again. It was on the program of Kabayan. That was on Friday, I think, Secretary. Friday morning. And you mentioned about presenting witnesses with handwritten affidavits, if I'm not mistaken. So you will confirm it.
Ganito po ang pangyayari. Ako po'y hindi abogado nung mga witnesses. May makikita ninyo na nang mag-testify sila, mayroon silang mga kanya-kanyang abogado sa tabi nila. Ngayon, ang sabi ko sa kanila, gawa ng napakadali lamang talikuran ng isang affidavit kahit sa ilalim pa ng panunumpa. Kukunan ninyo ng video habang kinukunan ninyo ng statement at kung maaari, kunan ninyo ng handwritten statement yung gist o yung maiksing salaysay nila para talagang hindi nila maitatanggi. Yan po ang payo ko sa mga abogado nung kanilang mga abogado ng mga high-profile inmates. Kaya as to whether sinunod dyan o hindi nung kanilang mga abogado, I could not confirm it, pero alam ko na mayroong gumawa o sumunod dun sa aking advice.
So, for those who heed to your advice that they have to execute a handwritten affidavits.
Opo, at gusto ko rin po sana paliwanag na katulad nung sinabi raw ni Father Ranhilio Aquino na isang Bedan Dean of the Graduate School of Law na yun daw pong sa tingin daw po niya yung testimony ni Major Magleo kahapon ay parang rehearsed namin. Ang totoo po niyan, hindi ko pa nakausap yang si Major Magleo except in the morning kahapon for about 10 minutes. Yun lamang po ang pag-uusap namin ni Major Magleo, except nung bisitahin ko siya nung Sunday. Pero pinaalam ko sa inyo, Father Ranhilio, na hindi po ako nag-rehearse ng witness at kung rehearse ko man yung witness na yan, ay sasabihin ko lamang sa kanya na magsabi lamang siya ng katotohanan.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. But going back to the handwritten affidavits, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
I submit, Mr. Chair, that the parliamentary status is that we are now on the stage for the Secretary of Justice to continue presenting his testimony by presenting witnesses which were investigated by him in the course of his investigation. In view of, Mr. Chair, I move that we will now allow the Secretary to proceed with his presentation of witnesses.
Mr. Chairman,
in
point of
connection
order.
with the
Yeah,
investigation.
with due respect to the Vice Chairman, I still have the floor, Mr. Chairman, and let me finish. Just one more
Can you
question.
please wind up?
Yeah,
You know
I'm-
what is more important,
I'm
like
winding up.
yesterday? Like yesterday is the witnesses, because there are a lot of logistical requirements needed. So let's first work on getting the testimonies of this witness, and then we
Yeah.
can open the floor for interpellations again.
As part of ferreting out the truth, Mr. Chairman, may I request the Secretary of Justice to furnish us a copy of those handwritten affidavits executed by those witnesses which you adhere to your advice.
Please, please comply, Mr. Secretary,
Opo.
so that we can proceed now to the main order of business.
Mr. Chair.
Gagawin ko po.
Yeah.
Gagawin ko po yun kung nasa akin. Pero
Okay na
alam
po.
po ninyo, meron tayong
No need for an explanation. You are already directed to provide this committee with these documents being requested by the Honorable Garbin.
Basta po nasa akin.
What is your pleasure, Vice Chair Liachon?
Mr. Chair, may we request our dear colleagues, and of course, Mr. Chair, to kindly proceed at once because I do believe I'll have to meet them at 1:30 for the budget hearing of the DOJ family. And most of them have to leave this one because we'll have a budget hearing. So may I also request our good secretary to proceed first with the most important witnesses so that we can have the major thrust of this committee for today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that. I beg the indulgence of the members, those who would wish to make manifestations, so that we can just finish with these witnesses. We proceed, but just to somehow hasten the conduct of our direct examination, may the chair ask the Secretary of Justice that you just issue a brief statement of, or perhaps just present the purpose for which the testimony of the witness to be presented is to be made, and then we will seek the witness himself to identify these documents or his affidavit, and then we will request the witness himself to read into the records so that everybody will understand the contents of what is alleged in his affidavit. And then if he would wish to add more, if the witness would wish to add more to what he has sworn to in his affidavit, then we will give him that opportunity, and then we will finish with all of the witnesses again, and then we will open the floor for interpellation. So that is how the proceedings will move today, so that we can hasten the presentation of this witness, and we can immediately proceed with the interpellation. So,
Mr. Chair, I'm raising a point of order.
what is your point of order?
This proceeding, Mr. Chair, is not only about trying to facilitate or to hasten the proceedings. It's
The
all
chair
about,
is aware of that?
it's all about propriety. The Secretary of Justice already admitted that he is not the lawyer.
What is improper in what is the rule that you are raising as a point of order?
The secretary admitted that he is not the lawyers of all the.
So what is the rule being violated, Mr.
It's not about violating the rule. I'm talking about propriety,
So
Mr.
what
Chair.
is the point of order being
Let me
raised?
finish. I saw all the written statements and affidavits of all the inmates who are supposed to be testifying before these proceedings. They were all assisted by the members of the public attorney's office. They were the ones who assisted all the inmates and elicited all these statements. To my mind, and in all propriety, Mr. Chair, they are the ones in a position to let them identify those documents. It is not the Secretary of Justice who was responsible in this.
They did identify themselves.
Ang sa akin lang po, Mr. Chair, yung what is more appropriate? Ako, gusto ko itong appropriate proceedings para lahat, walang masabi naman na
Wala pong
hindi tayo
nasabi.
balanse.
Ewan ko kung nandito po kayo kahapon at nakita niyo po na nung minarkahan at in-identify yung documents, the witnesses themselves identify the documents, not the Secretary of Justice,
Mr.
not
Chair,
the
I am
PAO.
aware of that, but what I'm saying is what is supposed to be appropriate. It is the PAO, the members of public authorities
Anyway,
office who assisted
the
them.
matter has been trashed out and we are not violating any rule. We will observe and we will take note of your comments or manifestation and please make the necessary objections at the time when if you feel there is violation of the rules and there is impropriety being
Well, if you're
committed.
talking about the rules, Mr. Chair, I think our rules are very, very explicit. We have not
So,
debated them for...
So okay, then we will...
The rules say, Mr. Chair, that the witnesses, only the members of Congress are supposed to speak here. They're the ones who were supposed to ask questions. That is the rules. Unless we have strong reasons to deviate from those rules. Kaya nga po, tinatanong ko,
Pasensya na po, Congressman, kanina po ay clarify na ito, the Deputy Speaker, the Vice Chairman, and many others had seemed to appreciate the conduct of this inquiry. Kayo lang po yan. So anyway, you are here and you can raise the proper objections at the proper time. So
Thank you very
if
much.
we may just proceed, Mr. Secretary, please state the purpose for which please raise the purpose for which your next witness is going to be presented.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are calling as the next resource person, Mr. Noel Martinez.
Please, the page will please assist Mr. Martinez to the conference room. Kahapon po ni-raise ni Majority Floor Leader kung bakit nandito lahat yung witnesses sa isang room na nagkakatinigan sila. No? So, may I know if all of these witnesses are in this room, otherwise we will seek the exclusion or I will direct the exclusion of all other witnesses except Martinez so that we can conduct this hearing properly, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Chair, yung pong si Mr. Jaime Pacho at saka si Jojo Baligad are inside. So may we ask them or their lawyers to and the guards to security men to escort them out.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. In connection with the exclusion of the witnesses, Perhaps, Mr. Chairman, we can look for a holding room. Because if they are simply excluded, all the TV monitors are around. Therefore, it negates their
Deputy
exclusion.
Speaker, may I just cut you short? They have a holding room, so we need not argue on this point. I also hereby request all those who are speaking that after they speak, they please put off their mic because the system can only accommodate 3 at any one time, and this will hamper our hearing if we don't observe proper decorum.
Mr. Chairman,
Ayaw naman mamatay.
Mr. Chairman, just a point of inquiry.
Please.
Do we exclude as well witnesses who had testified yesterday? Because they will also be subject to cross-examination later. I see Mr. Ablen of the NBI and Deputy Director Ragos.
Hindi naman kailangan na kasi nakapag-testify na.
But during the interpellations, questions will be asked of them also later on, Mr.
Tapos na
Chair.
po tayo sa kanila. We will interpolate the new witnesses now. But we will call for another hearing if need be. Pero at this point in time, this committee is not considering that they be interpolated in today's hearing because the Secretary intends to present 6 witnesses today. Baka abutin tayo ng madaling araw nito. So, kahapon, 4 lang tayo. Inabot tayo ng 8:30. Baka ngayon po ay madaling araw. So, anyway, for the proper conduct of these proceedings, for today, wala pong interpolation of the witnesses yesterday. And we will try to cover as much of those who will be presented today. So, ganun po ang proceedings po natin ngayon.
Thank you, Mr.
Point
Chair.
of order, Mr. Chair. Point of order. Mr. Chair, considering that we have excluded the other witnesses, now what is now the order of interpellation? Do we have to interpellate after every witness has testified? Or do we have to wait for all the witnesses
Sinabi
to
ko na po
testify?
yan, we will present first all of the witnesses and then similar to yesterday, interpellation will happen all at the same time.
At the same time.
Depending on how many witnesses we can accommodate. Anyway, the chair has already made that directive. Let us now proceed. Congressman Teves.
Yeah, parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman. Will we have a chance to cross-examine the past witnesses? Because as I am
Yes.
looking at, when will it be? Will it be today?
After every hearing, this committee conducts a post-mortem on what had been accomplished for the day, and we are considering all of those. So at the proper time, we will call the witnesses because of the difficulty in bringing them here every day. So yung logistics, security, and the like are matters that we have to consider for purposes. Kanya dapat alam po natin kung sino yung cross-examine natin. We will ask the members kung sino po ang gusto nilang tanungin para po mas malinaw po at mas mabilis yung ating pong proceeding.
May I continue, Mr. Chairman? Because looking at the sinumpaang salaysay of Jojo Baligad, meron siyang statement dito tungkol kay Ragos.
Wala pa po tayo.
I know, sinasabi ko lang, looking forward, Ragos is already here today. Baka pwede natin siya matanong mamaya tungkol dito after this Baligad talk.
We will cross the bridge at the proper time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So may we now proceed with the presentation of the witness. Nandiyan na ba si Martinez ba?
Opo, Mr. Chair,
Nasaan po si
nandito na po
Martinez?
siya.
Nakapag-on na ba, no? May I direct the COMSEC to administer the oath? And before that, may I know if this witness is assisted by counsel?
Opo, si Attorney...
Pakitayo lang po, Mr. Martinez. Right.
I, Noel Martinez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to tell the truth,
to tell the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So, Mr. Secretary, please proceed. Lay the purpose for which this witness is to be presented.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to put on record that the witness is assisted by counsel, Attorney Ferdi Tupacio, and that he has already accepted the offer of immunity from the Speaker, Your Honor.
Baka ito yung sira.
So, the witness, ito pong testigong ito ay magsasalita tungkol sa isa siyang inmate sa National Bilibid Prison at magsasalita siya kung sino-sino mga puno dito sa loob ng Bilibid. Kasabihin po din po niya noong February 13, si JB Sebastian informed Martinez that si DOJ Secretary de Lima needs funds for her plan sa natumakbo sa 2016 senatorial elections, and that si JB Sebastian ay plinano na i-centralize ang drug sale sa NBP. And hiningin niya ng tulong ang lahat ng mga gangs or group leader sa NBP para tulungan siya tungkol dito. Bilang kapalit,
Ito sira.
nakakatanggap sila ng protection money at special treatment. Ang testigo pong ito ay magsasabi rin na na-meet niya or nakadaupang palad niya sa Secretary de Lima noong panghuling bahagi ng 2013. Hindi siya nagbebenta ng mga drugs, kaya yung hiling ni JB Sebastian sa kanya ay ang ginawa niya ay nagreto lamang siya kay Sebastian kung sino itong mga taong tutulong sa pagbenta ng illegal drugs sa labas ng Bilibid.
Yung Mr. Secretary, yung purpose po may be general because after this we will ask him to identify the document, and after he has identified the document, he will read into the records all that is contained in that affidavit para po maintindihan ng lahat ng miyembro, pati na rin po yung mga nakasubaybay dito, maintindihan nila kung ano po ang nalalaman po o partisipasyon po ni Mr. Martinez dito sa usaping House Resolution 105. So, please go direct to the point para po bumilis tayo.
One sentence na lang po, and that in December 2014, he was one of the 19 high-profile inmates that was brought to the NBI. Ayun lamang po, and then we'll ask the witness to identify the affidavit that he executed.
Has this affidavit been pre-marked?
Opo.
Ano
ito
po ang marking po niyan?
Minarkan bilang Exhibit H.
Exhibit H. Sige po. So, please confer with the witness if he affirms that this is the document that he executed, this affidavit he executed.
Ginoong, may I proceed, Mr.
Please.
Chair? Ginoong Martinez, mayroon ka bang ginawang affidavit bago ka pumunta sa hearing na ito?
Meron po.
Tungkol sa mga anomalya sa drugs sa New Bilibid Prison?
Meron po.
pinakikita ko sa iyo ang isang
You have
Xerox
the original?
copy. Isang Xerox copy ng sinumpang salaysay na may 3 pahina at may petsa September 9, 2016 na minarkahan mula sa Exhibit H hanggang Exhibit H das 3B. Paki-examine mo nga kung may copy ka dyan at sabihin mo sa kagalang-galang na kapulungan kung yan yung sinasabi mong sinumpang salaysay na ginawa mo.
Nasaan po yung original? Please compare with the original.
Yan na, inikot na. Ito na po yun, Your Honor.
For the record, this affidavit has been distributed to all members for their review and consumption.
Mr. Chair, may we request that the original be substituted by a Xerox copy and the Xerox copy will be signed again by the witness.
Please comply, Mr. Witness.
Please sign beside your Xerox signature. What's the last marking? Anong last marking? Mr. Chair, may we request that the new signatures of the witness be marked as H-3-C, -D, and -E,
Mark it.
respectively.
Ay, okay lang po. H, das, T, C. H, T, C, D. Tama. H, T, E.
So, have we completed this process?
One more question, Mr. Chair. Ginoong Martinez, sumusumpa ka bang muli na yung affidavit na pinirmahan mo ngayon ay totoong lahat ang nilalaman at ikaw ay hindi pinilit, binayaran o pinangakuan ng anuman para gawin mo yan?
Sumusumpa po ako, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, the witness is ready for questioning.
Before that, the chair directs the witness to read the text of his affidavit so that we can read it into the records as well. And for a better understanding of what is contained in your affidavit, ano po yung nilalahad nyo dyan. Kanya pakibasa lang po at bibigyan po namin kayo ng pagkakataon na kung gusto nyo pa pong dagdagan yan, dagdagan nyo sa pahuli kung meron pa kayong gustong sabihin. So, the witness is recognized.
Tawagan lang kung kausapin mo.
Mike, please.
Basa na. Ako si Noel Martinez A. Gulyoso, Pilipino at kasalukuyang nakapiit dito sa Building 14 New Bilibid Prison, Muntinlupa City na may prison number na N206P-1754. Matapos na makapanumpa ng naayon sa batas, ay nagsasaad ng mga sumusunod na kaganapan at impormasyon base sa aking personal na kaalaman. Noong taong 2011, ay naluklok ako bilang Commander Obosyo ng isa sa pinakamalaking pangkat sa maximum security compound ng Bilibid, ang Genuine Ilocano Group o GIG na may humigit kumulang 2,200 na membro. Kasama sa aking obligasyon bilang busyo ng GIG ay ang panatilihin ang kaayusan at katiwasayan sa aming mga miyembro at ang maayos na pakikisama sa mga iba pang grupo sa loob ng Bilibid. Isa sa mga patakaran na aming napagkasunduan at mahigpit na ipinapatutupad sa aming hanay ay ang pagbabawal sa paggamit, pagbibinta o pagkakaroon ng kahit na anong transaksyon na may kinalaman sa druga o pinagbawal na gamot. Noong 2012, nang magpasya ang GIG sa aking pamumuno na magtayo ng isang multi-purpose building sa loob ng Bilibid, humingi ako ng tulong kay GB Sebastian, ang commander ng grupong Sige-Sige Komando at chairman ng Presidio Side Maximum Security Compound. Si GB ang tumulong sa akin na mapa-approve ang proyekto sa Office of the Superintendent. Ang utang na loob na yon ay isa sa magpapagulo sa aking buhay kinalaonan. Noong Enero 2013, isang umaga, tinawagan ako ni GB at sinabi na darating si Secretary de Lima sa kanyang opisina bandang hapon. Nang pumunta ako kinahaponan ay naroon nga si Secretary de Lima. Naroon din ang mga pinuno ng iba't ibang pangkat at ipinakilala ang bawat isa sa amin kay Secretary de Lima. Noong Pebrero 2013, ipinatawag ako ni GB sa kanyang opisina at sa aming pag-uusap ay sinabi sa akin ni GB na siya ay kinausap ni Secretary Laila de Lima at inutusan na kailangan nilang makalikom na malaking halaga para sa intensyon ni Secretary de Lima na tumakbo bilang senador sa eleksyon ng 2016. Dahil dito, sinabi ni GB sa akin na kailangan masentralize ang bintahan ng droga sa Bilibid at ang mga pinuno ng bawat grupo o mga komander ang kailangang mag-asikaso nito bilang tulong. Ang magiging kapalit nito, ayon kay GB, ay ang proteksyon sa amin at ang special treatment na aming matatanggap. Sa katunayan, alam ng lahat dito sa Bilibid ang salita ni GB ay parang batas. Ang sinumang hindi sasang-ayon sa gusto niya ay maaring mamatay o taniman ng druga o itapon sa malalayong kolonya na tunay na kinatatakutan naming mga bilanggo sa Bilibid. Upang mapangalagaan ang aking kaligtasan at maiwasan ko ang aking sarili na direktang masangkot sa pagbibinta ng bawal na gamot, hiniling ko na lamang kay GB at siya ay pumayag na ako ay magrerito na lamang sa kaniya ng mga pwedeng magbinta sa labas ng Bilibid. May ilang miyembro din ng GIG na nag-refer kay GB sa pamamagitan ko na mga magbibinta sa labas. Ginawang isang kondisyon sa akin ni GB na kung hindi magre-remit ang mga referral na ito, kargo ko rin yon. Sa mga huling buwan ng 2013, tinawagan uli ako ni GB at sinabing darating si Secretary de Lima at totoo nga na dumarating ito sa kaniyang opisina. Noong mai-refer ko na yung mga taong tagalabas kay GB, sila na ang nag-uusap, ngunit ang lahat ng mga transaksyon nila ay alam ko dahil sa tuwing nagdideposito sila kay GB ay itinitext nila sa akin ang detalye. Ito ang basehan ko upang matiyak na nagre-remit ng maayos ang referral ko. Noong July 2014, kinausap ulit ako ni GB sa kanyang kubol at ako ay kinumbinsi na magbinta ang mga miyembro ng GIG ng druga sa loob ng Bilibid dahil mas malakas daw ang kita kung dito sa loob ng Bilibid ang bintahan. Dahil sa utang na loob ko kay GB at dahil may takot din ako sa kanya, mahirap man sa akin ay sinubukan kong kausapin ang ilan pang mga leader ng GIG kung kakayanin nila ang hinihiling ni GB. Ngunit sila ay hindi pumayag. Noong October 2014, kinausap naman ako ni GB. Natanggapin ko na raw yung natitira niyang 200 gramo dahil lahat ng droga na kaniyang naparating ay naibahagi na sa mga leader ng iba't ibang grupo. Pinakausapan ko si GB na huwag na sana niyang isama ang GIG sa operasyon niya dahil hindi ko talaga kaya. Dito na nag-umpisang manlamig ang pagkikipagturingan sa akin ni GB. Sa lahat ng pagkakataon ng pagpunta ni Secretary de Lima sa kubo ni GB, silang dalawa ay iniwan namin pagkatapos ng kainan. Sa ibang pagkakataon naman ay ang driver ni Secretary de Lima na si Junior Sanchez ang nagpupunta kay GB at kumukulikta ng pera. Kalaunan ay sinabihan ako ni GB na hindi na si Junior Sanchez ang kukuha o kukulikta ng pera dahil nagkaroon ng di pagkaunawaan si Junior Sanchez at Secretary de Lima. Si alias Makoy naman ang nagpupunta sa Bilibid para kumuha ng pera. Isang beses ay pinatawag ako ng isang Colonel Eli sa kanyang opisina sa Bucor o IC office. Sinabihan niya ako na siya daw ay inutosan ni Direktor Bukayo para hingan ako ng halagang 500,000 pesos. Sinagot ko siya na wala po akong ganun kalaking pera at tinasa niya ako ng busi sabay sabi na wala ka palang silbi bilang busyo ng grupo niyong GIG. Ang dami pa namang Chinese sa pangkat mo. Dahil sa takot ko ay kinausap ko ang mga inchi kong kagrupo na unang pagkakataon kong ginawa at natulungan ako ng aking grupo at nagbigay ako kay Colonel Ili ng halagang 300,000 pesos. Nagulat ako ng pinatawag ulit ako ni Colonel Ili at sinasabihan niya ako na kailangan kong magbigay ng pera sa kanila ni Direktor Bukayo bawat linggo. Kaya kapag pinapunta ko ni Colonel Eli sa opisina niya, ay alam ko na kailangan kong magbigay ng pera. Nagkaroon din ng pagkakataon kung saan sinabi sa akin ni GB na nahuli daw ang mga operatiba ng mga operatiba ang isa niyang tauhan sa labas at sinubukan niyang arigluhin ang mga humuli. Pinuntahan kami ng isang pinakilala niyang Jad de Vera at nag-uusap sila tungkol sa ariglo sa mga humuli sa tauhan ni GB. Sa pamamagitan ng kalakarang ipinatupad ni GB ay mas lalo pang namayagpag ang bintahan ng droga hanggang November 2014. Ang problema, pataas ng pataas ang binta ng droga na ipinipilit na malikom ni GB para sa pangangailangan ni Secretary de Lima. Noong December 15, 2014, isang raid ang isinagawa sa loob ng Bilibid. Isa ako sa 19 na mga detainees na sa pilitang inalis sa Bilibid at dinala sa National Bureau of Investigation or NBI. Simula noon, ako ay sinama ng pamunuan ng Bucor at DOJ sa hanay ng mga tinatawag na high-profile inmates. Kapansin-pansin na hindi isinama si GB sa grupong ito. Ang nasabing raid ay isa sa mga pinagmalaki ni Secretary de Lima na dumano'y paraan na ginawa niya upang buwagin ang talamak na pagpapakalat ng droga sa Bilibid. Dahil na rin po sa sensitibong informasyon na aking inilahad sa salaysay na ito, ako po ay humingi ng inyong proteksyon at tulong upang maihiwalay dito sa Building 14 para sa aking kaligtasan.
Mr. Secretary, do you have anything more to add to what you have said, Mr. Witness? Meron pa? Wala na. Meron ka po bang gustong idagdag sa iyong naisalaysay na?
Ito lang po muna, Your Honor.
Ikaw ba'y pinwersa o tinakot para i-issue mo yan o ikaw ba'y binayaran para ikaw ay pumirma at tumistigo dito sa hearing na ito?
Kusang loob ko pang pumunta dito, Your Honor, para mag-witness.
Maraming salamat. Mr. Secretary, please present your next witness and state the purpose for which you are presenting this second witness. Yung witness po, excuse na, but he may stay here anyway. He has given his testimony already.
Mr.
Kung
Chair,
yung security nila ay kaya yun, ano? Kasi mahahati, yung isa nasa holding room, isa nandito.
Mr. Chair, our next witness would be Jaime Pacho, who is now in the holding room. May we ask that
May
he be
we ask
brought
the
in?
page to assist in the delivery of this witness to this conference hall?
Masana? Dapat offer lang. Pa-change natin yung and even kidnap for
Okay, while waiting for the witness, we will allow interpellation of Secretary of Justice in line with the line of questioning of Congressman Garbin. Meron ka pa bang additional kay Secretary Aguirre?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. May I also ask whether Mr. Noel Martinez executed a handwritten affidavit?
Mr. Chair, hindi ko po talaga alam kasi hindi ako ang lawyer niya.
Who is counsel?
And we have to remember also that there is such a thing as lawyer-client relationship, and this is confidential between the lawyer and the client. As to whether the lawyer or the client would allow that this be given to us, it's up to them. But I have none in my possession.
May we inquire, Mr. Chairman, as to who is the lawyer of Mr. Noel Martinez?
Nandiyan na, kanina, sino ba? I'm
Mr.
sorry, we were unable to read into the records the name of the lawyer. Sino ba yung lawyer niya?
Attorney Topacio.
Si Attorney Topacio, is he in the room?
Because, Mr. Chairman, if the handwritten affidavit which was executed by Mr. Noel Martinez as basis of this computer-printed affidavit, mas mabuti na po, bigyan na po tayo ngayon. So we can compare the handwritten.
Kung meron po, kung meron. Hindi po natin alam kung meron, so we will ask the lawyer. Pero just the same, ano po ba ang purpose nung inyong pagtanong ng written statement na yun?
We can compare, Mr. Chairman, whether the original handwritten affidavit and this computer-printed affidavit
Meron po ba kayong nalalaman
are
tungkol-
faithful execution or transfer of those statements he executed in the said handwritten affidavits? That's what we're trying to get.
I do not know kung ano yung gusto nating puntusin dyan sa iyo. Pero
Well, as part of ferreting out the truth, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
of course, the best person to do that is the witness himself. And kung meron yan, you will have your time to do that when you interpolate the witness himself after the presentation of all other witnesses. So
Thank you, Mr. Chair, but I'm just trying to do this because this was announced over a national radio that most of these witnesses executed a handwritten affidavit, which I assume to be presented to this
anyway,
August body.
I think that was answered. He does not have that, so you will have your time with the witness.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you po. Ito pong sinasabi na may sinumpang salaysay and some of the honorable congressmen are looking for the somehow handwritten. Ito pong sinasabi na yon, nagte-testify personally yung mga witnesses. Lahat na itong papeles, baliwala na yan. Kasi ito na yung testigo ngayon. Ano pang hahanapin natin papeles? Andyan na nga yung tao. So yung tao ngayon, yun ang subject ng cross-examination, interpellation. It replaces everything. So ito lang naging basis natin kung ano ang nandyan. Pero pag hahanapin pa natin yung handwritten, I think that's no longer relevant to this.
With all
Because
due
what
respect,
is-
Mr. Chairman,
What is now important is the personal oral testimony of the witnesses.
Okay, the next witness is here, so we'll put priority to this witness so we can, wala pa ba? Wala pa ba? Sorry, sige. So we can continue. Ano po yung, who is, Deputy, meron pa bang, Deputy Minority, you wanna say something?
Minority Leader, Mr. Chairman.
Minority Leader. Minority Leader, sorry.
Mr. Chairman, can I just raise a question to the Honorable Secretary? In yesterday's hearing, nagkaroon po tayo ng isang revelation about Mr. Golangco talking to no less than the Secretary himself over the phone, at sinabi niya kung natanggap na, oh Hector, I got it. Napaka-sensitive po nito. And then niraise namin yung issue na ang nag-uusap ay si Secretary using a postpaid phone of Globe na binabayaran ng DOJ. Ang gusto ho nating malaman at na hindi ho natin na-arrive kahapon ay yung number po nung kanyang bagman. Whether it is Globe or Smart, hindi pa ho natin alam at pinasisecure ho natin kahapon, and I was informed that it may be available today. Kung ito po ay available, Mr. Chairman, there are two concerns. Kung ito ho ay postpaid, matagal ho na nire-record ng mga telco yung mga data sa kanilang mainframe. But if it is a prepaid, under the NTC, ay 5 to 6 months, mai-erase na ho yun.
If you have it, Secretary, please provide. If not, may I request the Minority Leader to please coordinate with whoever is designated by the Secretary on this to abbreviate the matter, the resolution of the matter.
Mr. Chair, yung pong sabi ni Mr. Colango na got it, ay yung po'y hindi sa through telephone. Yun po ang...
Hindi. Yung hinihingi lang po yung numero ng telepono nung kung sino man yun. Sino ba yun?
Opo.
Si Jonel?
Mr. Secretary, yung pong allegation baga na sinabing baka nagdududa ka, parang manifesting to Golangco na talagang si Secretary de Lima yung kanyang kausap. And nagkausap po sila eh. Ang point ko lang, na-establish ho natin yung number ni Secretary de Lima, pero hindi ho natin nakuha yung number ng kanyang bagman.
Ang sabi po sa testimony ni Mr. Colango ay ang nakakaalam niyan yung kanyang manager ng kanyang combo. Kaya gusto nating ipasubpi na rin yung manager na yan.
Secretary?
Wala na ho siya dito. So anyway, you were directed to try to obtain this through Mr. Colango or his lawyer. Anyway, may we request the